dogs for a little over 10 years, primarily Rottweilers and Argentine Dogos. His one fundamental belief is that obedience is paramount to dog ownership. If you don't keep your dog trained, have good control over your dog, that dog becomes a threat to others. It's like a loaded gun waiting to go off. So with that said, I'm going to have Mr. Scott out with Macrina, who's going to come out. Mr. Leroy Walker will be narrating. Now, Leroy Walker, as I mentioned earlier, is also hosting a seminar I mentioned. He's been training dogs for, since the beginning of time. But I do want to let you know much of the training that I've received, as others, has been by way of Mr. Leroy, of which we have a tremendous debt of gratitude. So everybody, I hope you realize you've got royalty here today working with you. So with that said, James, why don't you go out there and do your thing with Macrina? Leroy, if you want to take the mic and fill them in. Thank you very much, folks.
This is an Argentine Dogo. Actually, I believe the pronunciation is Dogo Argentine. All right. You just stop? Hunting, right? Is that right?
Correct.
But this is one of the most serious hunters in the world, not like a bloodhound or a chihuahua. That's the third largest cat on the planet. Under control, this dog is an asset. Out of control, or lack of control, what you have is a liability. I'm going to ask you to heel. I want you to make left turns only, because we know that that's the most difficult turn to make. Heel your dog, sir. Left turn. And stop. Praise her good. Ask her to down. And to sit. Good girl. And heel. Left turn. Now, if you notice, whenever he stops, she should sit automatically. Would you stop, please? There's not much to it when it's working. Getting to that can be a serious chore. I know that it's hot, and we want to get on with this thing, so we're not going to continue. One more thing. Would you ask her to stay, move out in front? That's far enough. Go back to her and praise her. Praise her good. We're going to do one more thing. Tell her to stay, and this time I want you to retrieve her. Why don't you count to 10 or so in there? A little bit further. That's good enough. Whenever you're ready.
Come.
All right. I like, just as a note, most people who own those dogs, that particular breed, would tell you that what you just witnessed with her being off leash, or not off leash but loose, and all these dogs around, you couldn't do it because she would attack a dog. Thank you.
Opportunity to register your dog. Make sure to get that done right now. We'd like to go ahead and get the show going, but before I start, I'd like to make sure to introduce...
Hey! Get out of here. What are you doing?
I'd like to introduce our judges for today's event. First of all, right to my left is Mr. Larry Dennis of East St. Louis, Denhouse Rottweilers. Secondly, you've already had a chance to talk to, or at least listen to, Mr. Leroy Walker. And last but not least is Mr. James Scott. These will be our judges officiating today. Primarily, we're looking at conformation. And if you have not had an opportunity to register your dog, make sure to get that done. And please, folks, please keep your dogs on the leash. Make sure to check those collars, make sure they're applied properly. And again, welcome. Also make a note, we do have a fantastic selection of food in the corner. So if you get hungry, get thirsty, please stop by and grab yourself something to eat. Thank you. In the sun, please feel free to dry yourself under the partition there so you can stay warm. We'll work the dogs out in this outer area, so please, anyone suffering from any type of heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything like that, so make sure you find a comfortable spot. If you have not registered your dog, please get that in, because we are now ready to get this party started. With the working group, before we begin, I want to give you a little heads up on the working group. The working group has the largest number of breeds and number of dogs within this breed. For this reason, in the U.S. and some other countries, they have been split into two groups, working and herding. These distinctions have been noted in the descriptions of each breed. The undivided working group includes both herding and working, the latter being those breeds that guard, haul, and rescue. The first is the breed called a blue pit bull. Name of the dog is Seven. Owner, Corey Williams. Mr. Williams, if you would step up with Seven in the conformation of 7. Make sure to follow the judge's lead, folks. I think a lot of times pit bulls get a bum rap. A lot of places don't even want to have pit bulls on the scene. A lot of cities have even passed ordinances preventing pit bulls from living in those areas. But a well-trained, disciplined pit bull is as great a dog as you can own. Maybe even a third-generation dog trainer passed down from generation to generation. Head structure, teeth. He'll examine the dog's rear hind shanks in addition to the movement of the dog. All these things are carefully considered as the judge does the conformation. A lot of things you wouldn't even think about goes into conformation. Many times you see the shows on television, Westminster dog shows. These are the many things these judges are looking for. Here at Gills, 2nd Annual International Dog Show, folks, a pleasure to be here. As I mentioned earlier, folks, please keep in mind that June 9th, Mr. Walker will be having a free seminar inside the mind of the dog. Everybody, how about a round of applause for Seven, that pit bull puppy?